Now, good morning, school. In today's reflection section, we're going to be talking about accents, and it's entitled How to Speak Proper Like What I Do. Now, I realise the irony of someone with an estuary accent talking about accents isn't going to be lost on anyone, but it does raise some interesting ideas and interesting thoughts about where do these different accents come from. Are some better than others? How are they viewed by those around us? So let's just take a little example. Now you see this is a bath, and I would pronounce it like that, almost spelt B-A-R-F. Most of you, being northerners, would pronounce it bath. This is a bath. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that I'm right and you're wrong. By the same token, I would call this a castle, whereas you would probably call it a castle. And there's lots and lots of examples where we have these regional differences. You know, path, scone, scone, garage, garage. There's lots and lots of different examples. But the question is, I suppose, where do all these different accents come from? And really, to understand that, we have to go back into history. So, of course, we know there are regional accents, and I found this, which made me chuckle, a very oversimplified suggestion of British accents and what we may or may not sound like. But actually, this regional aspect of it is really quite important. And where our accents have come from, where these regional accents have come from, goes from, in some part, goes back into ancient medieval history and even pre-medieval history from various different groups that have invaded the UK. You see, our language as it stands is really a kind of a mixture of all these various different tribes and nations and groups that over centuries have in some cases invaded or then settled in the UK. So if we go back, you'll see, and if you look carefully, you'll see that within our language we've got influences of the Danes, the Vikings, the Angles, the Jutes, the Saxons, the Normans, the Celts, the Picts, the Romans, and then more recently, obviously, as we've had wider immigration, we've got different languages and different cultures all feeding into the melting pot that is English. And so traditionally, those various tribes and groups that invaded would settle in a particular region, and slowly, and we're talking over centuries, slowly as English became established in those regions, what you would find is that those differences in pronunciation and differences in words that they would use would become established. And so what we're talking about is dialect and sociolect. And I can give you no better example than these things here. Depending on where you're from or where your family's from, you will have different words for this. You might call it a roll, a cob, a bap, a balm, a stotty, an oven bottom. There is a huge variety of vocabulary used to describe these bread rolls. And of course, this variety gives our language a richness and vibrancy that it would otherwise lack. That's why we have so many synonyms. And of course, that's why it's so difficult sometimes for people to learn English. Now, I found this map, which I found quite interesting. What you will see on it, highlighted by the various different colours, are the most common synonyms used in a region for the word river, such as nen or water or drain or beck. And one of the things you'll see is that clearly these are clustered. These are clustered into geographical areas, and it really reflects the historic input of those various tribes on the language that we use every day. But of course, these synonyms and these different pronunciations can make it really, really difficult for people to learn English. And so one of the things I want to do is I want to share some of those difficulties with you by looking at this poem. This is a poem called The Chaos, and it's quite an old poem. It's a very long poem. I'm going to give you an opportunity to read it yourself. As you read it through, just have a think about the pronunciation. So we'll give it a go and see how many of these things A, I can get wrong, and B, how difficult it must be. So this is The Chaos. Dearest creature in creation, study English pronunciation. I will teach you in my verse sounds like corpse, core, horse and worse. I will keep you, Susie, busy, make your head with heat grow dizzy. Tear in eye your dress will tear, so shall I, oh hear my prayer. Just compare heart, beard and herd, diet, dies and diet, lord and word, sword and sword, retain and Britain, mind the latter how it's written. Now surely I will not plague you with words such as plague and ague, but be careful how you speak, say break and stake, but bleak and streak. Cloven, oven, how and low, script, receipt, show, poem and toe. Hear me say divide of trickery, daughter, laughter and terpsichore, typhoid, measles, topsails, isles, exiles, similes and reviles, scholar, vicar and cigar, solar, mica, war and far, one, anemone, balmoral, kitchen, lichen, laundry, laurel, Gertrude, German, wind and mind, scene, melpomene, mankind. Billet doesn't rhyme with ballet, bouquet, wallet, mallet, chalet. Blood and flood are not like food, nor is mould like should and would. Viscous, viscount, load and broad, toward, to forward, to reward. And your pronunciation's okay when you correctly say croquet. Rounded, wounded, grieve and sieve, friend and fiend, alive and live. Finally, which rhymes with enough? Though, through, plough, or dough, or cough. Hiccup has the sound of cup. My advice is just give up. That's just an extract from the poem. It's actually much, much longer. If you fancy a challenge, Google it. It's called The Chaos, and have a go yourself. And if you do, you realise the richness of our language, but also the difficulties of our pronunciation, and maybe why it's so difficult for people to learn. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, if you're fascinated by it, then next Wednesday we're having a continuation of our lunchtime lectures. The title of this is I'm Not Superstitious, but I Am a Little Stitious. And it's looking at the puzzles, enigmas, riddles and mysteries of everyday English. That's at 1:30 in the hall, and I sincerely hope to see many of you there. Thanks ever so much. Have a good day.